See if this gets copyrighted.
Yeah.
You don't own the rights to that song, Callaway.
Just purchase them right before the show. We're good.
Yeah, that's right.
I downloaded it years ago.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means.
I want money, lots and lots of money. Your boy went 5-1 last week.
That's a hell of a week.
Fade the Duce. It's time for conference title picks. The regular season's over, and we're still going to do some Fade the Deuces, but this is the final one for college football. The 14th episode, Matt, Kev. It looked like there was some separation from last week. So, Matt, you have to have a big week this week.
Yes, I know. I was 2-4. Kev went 5-1, so he picked up nice big 3 games on me. So I'm going to have to at least get 5-1 here to save my tail.
And Kev's going to have to hit the shits, I guess. You're going to have to.
Just hold on, baby.
I need another 0-6 week, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm just saying there's still plenty. I think the NFL playoff picks can be fun. We'll do that.
Hey, you speak for yourself. Nope.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'll get a gambling addict.
You guys can go pick NBA regular season games before I do that.
No.
I can't. No. NBA is not my jam.
Hey, we could do a college basketball. We could do the college bowl season a little bit.
Yeah. Some college bowls. All right. College basketball, I guess, but still.
We could have a college. We could have a keeping it orange and blue for the listener bowl pick'em thing. I might set something like that up. That'd be fun.
I was thinking about that the other day and thought, Ryan, you could pick 10 bowls just at random on the show, and we've got to give our on the spot minus 10.5 plus 10.5.
Okay, I think we can. I think we'll come up with some
see how it shakes out. Like, just pick 10 games, 10 randoms. We don't know what's coming.
Anybody who's ever picked bowls, like just to win or spreads, it is pure flipping chaos.
Like Pop-Tart Bowl, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Okay, no, they can't play each other. Obviously, they play conference together, but yeah, that sounds like fun ideas. I think we can spice it up a little bit for bowl season. Yeah, that'll be fun. So anyway, with that being said, as I mentioned earlier, the regular season has come to a close. And there's some good matchups this weekend, some not so good matchups this weekend.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. like you look at if you're looking at it from just this pure perspective, is that we're going to pick the 5 Power 5 conference championship games. Like there's one that's under 5-point spread. Everything else is bigger than that. So it's a little frustrating in that we have some predominant favorites here. But I think there's going to be some interesting stuff to be said. So we'll see.
And I'm sure there'll be some fun to be had in the locks too, because you guys could do any one you want in those locks. Those lower, your G5, hell, FCS bowl playoffs. I don't care, So
G League.
Yes,
G League Ignite,
CFL, whatever. Come on, Saskatchewan, let's go. All right. So with that said, we're going to start off in the final Pac-12. Think about that, the final Pac-12 conference championship game. And you know what? I got to be honest. I think even though the spread's not that close, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think, most people are going to probably pick Oregon to win outright with the spread's 9.5 in favor of Oregon. But, I think Washington's going to come into this, knowing that they're an underdog. People are just basically saying it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to lose this. And they did win the first matchup at home. But, again, the Washington can secure its college football playoff berth with a win. So 9.5-point favorite here, Oregon. Matt, we'll start out with you. What do you see happening here? Do you at least see Washington covering this, or do you think that it's just a cover? It's a double here for the Ducks.
I think this is a Ducks cover on the -9.5, and I believe that because I think these two teams are kind of passing ships in the night. Washington just hasn't been playing up to their standard the last really 4, 5, 6 weeks. 3 out of the last 6, they've scored 25 or less, and at the beginning of the year, they were putting up in the 40s consistently, and also the health of Michael Penix Jr. There's a lot of speculations swirling around him. Is he healthy? What's going on? He didn't look healthy at the end of the last game. Kind of over there by the injury tent. There was a lot of speculation there, but his stats just haven't been up to par. And I think Bo Nix has surpassed him in the Heisman, front here. And I think Bo Nix has a lot more to play for. And not to mention, Oregon is going to want a little revenge from Washington beating them early in the year. Oregon is 9-2-1 against the spread this season. And Washington, I think, is 4-8. So it's I'm going to take the Ducks here. I think they got, even though Washington, they're right there at number 4 or in the college football playoff. I mean, they're undefeated. But I think Oregon's saying, hey, we're going to jump them. We're going to get in the college football playoff and, see what we can do.
Everything Matt said is spot on. It's like Oregon is ascending and Washington is descending. Washington has struggled against Washington State, a Washington State team that wasn't playing so hot. They allowed 28 points to a really anemic Utah offense. That was a team Oregon beat 36-7. They struggle with Stanford. They let USC hang around. They let Arizona State hang around. I mean, to be honest with you, Washington has not had an impressive game since the Oregon game. I mean, they started off the season, and the only team they played really of substance really is Oregon and Arizona. Oregon State, they did win that game 20-22. I just don't – I'm not feeling what something's off with Washington here. And Furthermore, I went and looked back at the box score of the game when they played last time. Oregon won every statistical category in that game. They had 31 first downs to 24. They outpassed them, not by much, like 337 to 327. They outrushed them like 209 to 99. And they won the turnover battle 1-0. They controlled time of possession. I have no idea how Washington won the game. And it was
Dan Lanning, instead of trying to kick a field goal at halftime, went for it on 4th and goal, and they missed. And he also refused to punt at midfield and gave Washington the ball with an easier chance to score the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, and I don't want I hate giving up 9.5 points here with the favorite, but I think that Oregon is cruising its way into college football playoff, and I think that they win. They probably are in.
Yep.
I could be wrong. We'll have to see what happens here, but I'm taking the Ducks reluctantly, given the 9.5 points. I think they win regardless. I think this game's sitting at 65.5. Yeah, I think if we talk about this, I say it every week. Not a game I'd pick, but we're going to pick the best games because that's what people want to hear about. I probably would run to the window with the Oregon money line under on this one.
Yeah, love it. And I've actually bet the Washington unders the last 3 weeks and have cashed all 3 weeks because they're so inflated from earlier in the season and they're just not playing how they're used to playing.
Yep.
And I think it's going to continue.
Absolutely.
As we move
playing in Vegas.
Imagine that.
As we move on to the underwhelming Big 12 championship, surprisingly, this looked like a Texas-Oklahoma matchup for a while, and then somehow BYU blew the lead in that game because me and Kevin were, we
were scoreboard watching in the stadium for sure.
We were scoreboard watching in the stadium as Illinois was trying to cut that lead at the end, and heck, I think it was like the play before Paddock hit Washington for that. I don't know if anybody went back and watched that Casey Washington touchdown, Kev, but that was so good from the 82-yard or the 80-yarder. Oh my goodness! But anyway, he's like, oh, Okie State's losing to BYU. They're like down by like 8 or not. I'm like, what? with like a few minutes left, and they ended up blowing it. Now Oklahoma State came back and won in overtime. So number 7 Texas, number 7 Texas, 7. Bama's 8. So number 7 Texas takes on number 21 Oklahoma State. I mean, and it looks like that. Doesn't really matter what Texas does here. I don't think they're going to be able to hop in. They're going to be able to hop in. So, Kev, we're going to start with you. Texas, 15-point favorite. What do you think Oklahoma State's able to stay within that number, get under 15?
I do. I think they will be able to stay within the number. I don't really like it, but Oklahoma State has been a kind of a weird – they're one of the weirdest teams in college football. They beat Oklahoma. They beat Kansas State. They get drubbed by an average UCF team, 45-3. They dick around with a BYU team that is just, since the beginning of the season, is just going, who's cost me on a couple bets on the show. But I mean, Texas. I mean, Texas has a chance here, right? Obviously they're pulling for Alabama to beat Georgia. That makes their win look a lot better. They would obviously have a chance to be in the college football playoff. They've got a lot on the line. They play a little tight. And I just think that Oklahoma State, when they're coming ready, coming prepared, I think they can keep this within the number. Texas has, they've mud stomped some teams, but they haven't beat good teams. They haven't really thumped good teams. They played around with KSU. Probably should have lost that game. They probably should have lost against TCU. They barely sneaked by Iowa State. Yeah, they drubbed Texas Tech, but that's a lot of points for them to give. And I'll take the dog in a conference championship with this many points on the line. Now, don't hold me to it, because a little bit later I'm going to go on the other side of that. I'm going on the other side of my man Matt, but I'm going Oklahoma State plus the points here. I think Texas wins, but 31-17.
Yeah. I'm with you on this, Kev. I totally agree. I thought Oklahoma State was destined to be a bottom feeder in the Big 12 after how they started the season. They were
South Alabama 23-0.
Anemic, couldn't score. I'm like, where is the offense going to come from? They lost Sanders.
33-7. Sorry, that's 33-7 to South Alabama.
Right. Lost Sanders to the portal. And, do they have another quarterback that can come in? And then all of a sudden, this Ollie Gordon III jumps on the scene. And this guy, we've talked about him earlier. I mean, he's got over 1,500 yards, leads the NCAA in rushing, 20 touchdown rushing, 20 rushing TDs. And he had 5 last weekend in the double overtime win against BYU. So, I mean, I like the fact – and Oklahoma State's 4-1 against the spread this year. I think Mike Gundy will have his team ready, especially after the scare last week against BYU. 24-6 at half. I mean, they looked like their old ways, but found the second gear in the second half when it mattered. But I think it's a wake up. I think this line, even though, like Kev said, I mean, Texas goes to Tech and or at home and beats them 57-7. I'm looking at this Oklahoma State is just disrespectful to a Mike Gundy team that usually has his team ready to play against Big 12 competition. So I'm going to take a large number here with Kev. I'm going to take the plus 15. And thinking that Oklahoma State will try to get Ollie Gordon involved as much as possible, control the clock, control the game. Now, on the flip side, Texas is, I think, top 15 in the country in points allowed. Their defense has been very good. They've made a lot of money for underbettors throughout the season with their defense. They've had some inflated numbers in the 60s throughout the year. And at the end of the day, their defense has shown up. A lot of athletes on that side of the ball. But I think Texas definitely has the better athletes, but 15 is too many for me. Conference championship game, everything on the line, give me the 15.
How about this with Ollie Gordon, though, thinking about his stats? In the first 3 games of the season, he had 19 carries for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Comes out of
109 yards off the board for him. He's rushed for 1,471 yards in the last 9 games. I mean, and those games were against Central Arkansas, Arizona State, and South Alabama. This kid should have been a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, he should be in the ceremony. He would have been pushing 2,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. What in the world was Gundy doing with him?
And just remember one thing you guys can't forget in this Big 12 title game is that Gundy's a man and he's 40. All right. Just remember that.
50-something now.
He's
so
50-something now. That's right. Oh, my goodness. He's 55 because when he said that he was 40, those 07. Yeah, 56. All right. All right. So with that said, the game, even though the spread's, 5.5, I think this one's still some intrigue, even though Alabama, how the hell did they escape with that game against Auburn? I mean, if Illinois could have some of the luck, if Illinois could just have like a drizzle of the luck that some of these teams have, 4th and 31, and you give up a crappy lob to the corner of the end zone, and the defensive back has no idea. Auburn, pathetic. All right, so Georgia, Bama, 5.5-point favorite, Georgia. Matt, we'll start with you on this. Who are you picking outright? Okay, you got Georgia. You got Georgia outright in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Georgia by 4.
Okay,
and I'm going to take Bama. I'm going to go 24-20.
Okay.
And the over might be in play here too. Alabama overs have been hitting at about 75% clip this year. I think it's at 56.5, so I might have to revisit that final score. But yeah,
you got Georgia winning, so that's good.
I got Georgia winning, but I'm going to take Bama. It's just I can't do it. It's just too many points for a Nick Saban team for me. I hate betting against the guy. Like last week, like you just talked about, they always seem to find a way. And I know Georgia does too. I mean, both these teams are tremendous. I think Bama's playing their best football of the season. Yes, they got lucky last week, but, they still make it happen.
My question to you, Matt, though, if Bama beats Georgia, I mean, how does Georgia stay in the college football playoff? Like, they're the number 8 team. And I'm like, what? That's going to make it real murky because then it's like you have to put Bama in, right?
Very. I mean, you would think. I mean, what's Georgia won? 28 in a row?
Yeah. I mean, you can't count last year's totals.
And 2 back-to-back NCAA champs.
It's like you can't lose to Bama in the SEC title game and just be like, oh, yeah, we're the 4 spot now. Oh, so Bama jumps to the 3 spot?
Yeah, and that's – I mean – the winner is in, the loser's out. I mean, Obviously, if it's Bama, they're going to be out regardless. But, it's you never know.
I'm telling you, if Bama wins, you're telling me that the committee's not going to put a single SEC team in.
No. I'm sorry. If Bama wins, they're in. If
Texas wins, they're going to put Bama in over Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know. And we got to figure something out with these committees because you got a professor on there. You got a couple former college football coaches. You got administrators. Like, they're just dudes and women in a room,
Isn't Condoleezza Rice on the –
She was. I'm not sure.
She was.
Yeah.
I think Colin Powell is too now, right? Okay. I mean, just anybody. Emeril Lagasse, I think.
I'm like, what are we doing here? But I understand it's like – you got the computers. People don't like that because it's not the eye test.
We need to get AI doing it. Okay.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
Well, honestly, we're on a gambling podcast. You know who I think the most educated guys are in the world about college football? You need the Vegas heads.
The odds makers.
You need Sammy. You need what's the guy that's always on Colin Cowherd's show, Bell or something like that? Like honestly, I think those should be they should tell you these are the 4 best teams in college football. And I think they'd be right.
The only guy on the college football playoff show that I like listening to is Greg McElroy, if you watch him. Yeah. He's the only one who like nitpicks it and says like, there's this, he has logic, and all Joey Galloway can do is go, I disagree. And I'm just like, that's just Michigan bias. But I mean, he went to Notre Dame. But anyway.
Galloway was Ohio State.
Oh, he went to, okay. Yeah, there we go. because
and then play the Seahawks.
he thinks that Ohio State's still got a decent shot somehow, but we'll see.
But yes, end of the day, I'm not betting against Saban. Georgia's been fantastic. Obviously, they hold the throne, but I think it's just too many points, so I'm going to take Bama plus 5.5.
All right, Kev.
They've been hot for me. Every time I've taken them lately, I'm staying with them. I'm rolling with the dogs, dude. Like, I'm not betting against Kirby Smart and what they've got going on over there. I think you got the better defense. I think you got the better offense. I think you might have the better coach right now. Nick Saban's all-time best there probably ever has been. But I think that Kirby Smart just has something rolling here. Give me the dogs. I think they win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on the coaching. I agree. I mean, you can't. I mean, what else can you say? The guy's 1-1-1.
Well, the thing that we've looked at, and I've gotten some arguments with people about, people have said that Dabo Swinney is just Jimbo Fisher, and I disagree. I think Dabo's a better coach than Jimbo Fisher. He's had more sustained success. He's been to 4 college playoffs. He lost. I think he lost 2 championship games and won 2. But there was a thing with him, and you can look at Mac Brown. You can look at Urban Meyer and Teron Zook. You can look at a lot of these guys when they're start. You can look at Ryan Day right now. That Ohio State's offense is not the same because you don't have C.J. Stroud or J.T. Barrett or these really high-profile college quarterbacks. Kirby Smart has a really good chance of winning his 3rd straight national championship with Stetson Bennett and Carson Beck. I'm telling you, dude. I'm like,
that's a hell of a point.
What? Like, huh? Who's a what's it? How?
Yeah.
I mean, Ed Ogeron won a national championship because he had Joe Burrow, but like these I mean, Mac Brown had Colt McCoy and Vince Young and look unbeatable, and hasn't done anything in the college world since of note. Don't get me wrong; he's still a really good coach, and North Carolina is a highly competitive football team. But what Kirby Smart has done with average quarterbacks, average talent quarterback wise, is really, really hyper impressive.
100%. And Jimbo just win 1 title?
He won 1 title with Jameis as a freshman.
Yeah, but I'm saying but Dabo's won a couple, and I feel like that's a different level. Well, you can winning one's tough, but if you can win a second one, I think you sustain yourself to say.
There's only 2 guys in college football right now that have been able to do this with average talent quarterbacks, and that's Saban and Smart. And Smart's currently on that run, right? Yeah. I mean, Greg McElroy won a title at Bama. Mac Jones won a title at Bama. Who else won a title at Bama? It wasn't like just didn't knock your socks off as a quarterback. You can go back on the list.
Oh, what the heck was his name? No, AJ McCarron?
AJ McCarron. Yep, exactly. That's what I couldn't think of his name.
Okay. Yep.
Was AJ McCarron's girlfriend that Brent Musburger got all excited?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're looking live at a toddy in Bama town.
Toddy. It's like,
you never heard from him again. No.
Like, calm down, Jerry the King Waller. All right. So Kev, were you done with your Georgia Bama?
Yeah. I'm rolling with Georgia. I think what Kirby Smart's doing is really impressive. They are a different offense with Bowers healthy. I'm gonna go with the dogs.
I was waiting for your Keith Jackson. Let's move.
Talking about
the sounds of Keith Jackson. So, now the next matchup, ACC championship game. Personally, before we delve into that, I hope Florida State loses because it will be so unfair to watch them get trounced in the college football playoff, and without Travis. One thing that it's been brought up several times too, sadly, is that these college football playoff semifinals have just been such trash. Besides last year, the title game was trash, but it's just
made a lot of money on it.
There seems to be just so much unevenness in this, and that's really going to play itself out. So in this matchup, FSU Louisville, FSU's a 2.5-point favorite. Over a top 10 Louisville team. What an impressive job Brom's done. But, not having Travis is going to be a huge deal for Florida State. Sorry, Louisville lost to Kentucky. They're not top 10. Still a great job from Jeff Brom anyway. I think anybody would like to be in that predicament he's got going. So with that said, Kev, we're going to start out with you on this one. Do you think that the not having their leader at FSU is going to cause problems in this one? You think Louisville can sneak in there and steal the ACC bid and the ACC title and their bid to the college football playoff?
No. Louisville's a bunch of frauds, dude. They got their ass whipped by Kentucky last week. I mean, and they were at home, huge game. Their college football playoffs weren't out of the realm. And what did Florida State do? They went on the road and beat a Florida team that's more talented than Louisville. Go look at the recruiting rankings. I'm sorry. Louisville got exposed for the fact that they're a joke. They're not that good. I'm not buying anything that Louisville.
I'm going to go ahead and buy them, and only because I think that they did get embarrassed last week at home. It was an unbelievable letdown.
Yeah.
You got your whole season comes down to 1 point or one game, and you're playing your in-state rival, and you got the home crowd behind you and at full strength and can't get it done. I mean, it's terribly deflating, but at the same time, it could be as a motivating factor for this week, even though they know their CFP hopes, but they can still play the, hey, we want to be ACC champs, and hey, we want to steal a bid from the Seminoles. So I'm going to back Louisville here. Obviously, with a Rodemaker in there, Roadmaker, whatever, Roden Gardner. I think he was in Rookie of the Year.
Rosenberger.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's play the ball.
Yeah. Shout out early 90s sports movies, let me tell you.
Oh, good.
But I think it's just going to be a different animal for him. I know, hey, the swamp last week, good for him. He pulled it out, did what he had to do. Florida State did what they had to do. I think Florida State has better athletes here, the more NFL prospects, the whole kabang. But I'm going to take Louisville because of the quarterback situation and because of what happened last week.
So you have Louisville. Sorry, I almost said Louisville.
Louisville.
You got Louisville beating FSU or maybe winning by one.
If
or
I were
losing by one, like
no, I would just probably go ahead and take the money line here. I will say, I think I looked earlier today, 48% of the tickets. Now, this is a, conglomerate of different sources, and I'm not, advocating anything here, but I like to look at numbers. 48% of the tickets are on Louisville plus 2.5, but 85% of the money is on Louisville 2.5. Meaning, a lot of sharp bettors trying to get in there. I think they like this number under field goal. And I think it'd be a little bit different if it was a 3.5, 4.5, which it did start at 4.5. So it's been bet down to 2.5. That's 2 full points, obviously. I like to take the signs there, and I'll take Louisville plus 2.5.
All right. Well, that transitions us to the game of the week. Michigan. Whoa, Michigan. Iowa, Lucas Oil Stadium. Who couldn't forget the epic 2021 Big Ten title game where Michigan just slapped around the Hawkeyes like a little brother. I think it's going to happen again personally, and I probably will enjoy it. The question will be, will Iowa score an offensive point?
Yeah.
I think we were talking beforehand about a defensive point possibly. But so, Matt, you get the fun and the interesting job to break this down to a degree at first and give us your take. Do you think Michigan is going to be able to hang on to the 22.5 point spread here? Or are they going to – all right, Matt, go ahead. I know you're –
Not so fast. The Hawkeyes are covering this 22.5. Okay.
Whoa.
They They have been underdogs since 2016 3 times when it's been 20 or more points. And 2 out of the 3, they won outright as 20-point dogs or more. And one of them, they won by 31 as a more than 20-point underdog.
I was at home against Ohio State, right?
It was. They won 55-24 or something like that. I'm thinking history repeats itself here. They've got Kurt Ferentz on their side. He'll find a way. They still have a defense here, guys. I mean, I know Michigan has been just, rolling down a hill the entire season and just chucking people in their path. But
is Jimmy Ballgame back to coach in this one?
Yes, they do.
So you don't think old Jimmy?
Well, I mean,
you don't think Captain Harbaugh is going to come in there with a chip on his shoulder, wanting to kind of rub it in the nose?
Absolutely, but I've seen enough Big Ten games in my life that, I from at least from Iowa, that they just try to find ways to muddy it up, and they usually do. And I think their defense is still very capable. You're giving me 3 touchdowns. Yes. I mean, Kev's looking at me like I'm crazy, not even thinking they're even going to score, but yeah, see,
I don't think they get past midfield, dog.
Okay. So I'm taking the Hawks. They're going to cover the 22.5.
Hold on a second. I'm looking. What's in your cup over there? What do you got?
Just
purple drink.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. All right. Kev,
I'm gonna get that. Let me get that Tussin in there.
Yeah. Hey, Kev, I'm about to hold on a second. Go ahead and testify.
This offense is terrible.
It's bad.
This offense. All right. So let's look at our beloved in their last 3 football games. Our beloved in their last 3 football games gave up 42 to Indiana, 45 to Northwestern. Really average offenses, and Iowa squeaked out with 15. And you're playing arguably
at home, mind you,
right in their own house.
And Illinois looked like a really damn good defense.
They did. They looked like a competitive defense there. Like, oh my goodness, stop it, man! Michigan is all right. Where's Michigan rank on the defenses that Iowa's faced this year? 1 or 2? It's them or Penn State. And what happened when they played Penn State? 31-0. This game is going to be a mirror of that. And actually, I think this one might get out of hand. I think there might be one of those weird things where Michigan scores a couple of defensive touchdowns. I think this one might end up being 45-0. Michigan is pissed off. They've got all the ammunition in their back pocket, and they're playing they're playing such a bad offense. And thank God for Iowa that they have Torrey Taylor, that they're not giving up super short fields. But Michigan can beat you with the run. They still have a great running game in Edwards and Corum. McCarthy is the Big Ten quarterback of the year for a reason. They put up 30 points on Ohio State's defense. I mean, how different is Ohio State's defense from Iowa's? I just don't see it happening. I'm taking Michigan here. I'll lay the 22.5 points, and I'm not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, like, there's a part of me I kind of hope Matt's right. If freaking Iowa won outright, I hate Iowa.
Oh man,
it just made me laugh.
But you know what though, Matt? I do like the logic because you're trying to catch him and beat him, so you can't pick with him.
No, I sure can't.
No way you could catch up. I see. Okay.
Yeah. Especially you're giving me 3 touchdowns plus. I'm going to take it.
Yeah. All right, Kev. So we're going to go with your lock of the week of the conference championship season. And maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be a G League game, as you mentioned earlier. Maybe it'll be an NFL game. Whatever. What say you, Kev, on your lock of this week?
Man, I really liked the Browns and the Rams under 42.5. It's moved down to 40 now. So I'm having a little bit of questions on that one there. I've been hem-hawing on this one. You know what? I'm gonna stick with a little bit of a hot hand here and picking against bad NFL teams at this point in the season. The Washington Commanders are trash.
Ooh, boy, bad.
They gave up 40 points to the Chicago Bears. What in the world are the Dolphins going to do to them
Ooh.
on Sunday? I am all over the Dolphins in DFS this week. I've got Jalen Waddle starting in my guillotine league. I'm still surviving there. I'm going to take the Dolphins minus 9.5 on the road against the Commanders. This is one of the dumbest bets ever. You're taking a 10-point road favorite. Like, nobody does that. I'm going to do it. So let's try it out. I really wanted to take the over in Toledo, Miami of Ohio. I couldn't pull the trigger on that one. I think that one might have a little bit more scoring. Both those teams got some juice on offense.
Here's a little tidbit for you that I read today. Since 2005, in championship weekend games, if the over-under is 45 or less, the over has gone 9-1. It's happened 10 times. We've got 2 such instances this weekend. Michigan, Iowa, and Toledo, and who was the other one? You just said
Toledo, Miami of Ohio. Hey, another one that's interesting here. 86% of the public bet is on the over right now for Florida State, Louisville, and it's moved from 53.5 to 47.5. That's a really weird one. Really weird things going on. The 89% of the public bet, according to CBS Sports, is on the over there, and the numbers moved down 6 points.
It's very strange.
I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know.
I had
one thing that concerns me about the Commanders Dolphins game, and I'll say this now, and it is my pick, and I'll roll with my pick, and I'll take it. I'm worried about the weather. Might be some rain in DC this weekend. So,
and just to go off of Kev there, since 2005, still 48 and under. Over under during championship week, they've gone 18-9, and we got 2 games this coming. Yep. It's Florida State Louisville and SMU Tulane. I would be all over the SMU Tulane over right now, more than the Florida State Louisville.
Oh, I love that. Actually,
yeah, both offenses can really.
SMU can score 21 points every quarter if they've.
I'm going to change my lock right now because I remember I was talking about today. I'm going to take the Green Wave minus the 3.5 at home against SMU in the American Championship game, and I do think the 47 over is a really nice play. But I'm going to take Tulane minus 3.5 at home.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Kev. It's against the rules, man.
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show?
Hey, I don't make the rules, man. Don't shoot.
I'm going to take my ball and go home.
All right, we'll let that slide. So he switched it up from a road favorite, nearly a
double-digit road favorite in the NFL.
No, to Tulane at 3.5 at home. Okay.
Yeah, the weather really concerns me. There's supposed to be a lot of rain, so I'm backing off it a little bit. So.
All right, Matt. And this is one everybody at home watching, listening, wherever you're at, in Indonesia, China, Japan. We got people in Brazil that pay attention. Matt has to get this one if he wants any chance. So this is a for sure lock, people. So this must be easy money right here. Is this Tommy DeVito right here?
That's right.
DeVito? All right. All right. Let's go, Matt.
This will I hope you guys are sitting down. It looks like it. But and Kev's gonna love it. He's gonna love the pick. I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to the Iowa Hawkeyes team total over 6.5.
They're in a conference championship game and their team total 6.5.
Their team total is not even a touchdown. I couldn't pass it up. It's just too good.
So that's saying that they're saying they won't score more than 6.5 points.
That's correct for the whole game.
So I think they are.
I'm thinking they are. I'm going to think they're going to cash this by the end of the third quarter, whether it's a defensive touchdown, whether it's 3 field goals, a field goal, 2 field goals and a safety. I don't know. I don't care. Give me Iowa Hawkeyes team total over 6.5. They're going to find a way to at least get in the end zone or kick enough field goals.
I think Brian Ferentz is going to be happy that this will be his final Big Ten game, I think.
That's right. He's got incentive to score over 25 points. So come on.
Right.
It's a conference championship game, and the team that's in it has a team total of 6.5 points.
Here's another one to look for. Both halves, their team total is over 0.5. Think about that. So a field goal will cash in either half there. Now, that could have gone up. That was yesterday. It might have gone up a little bit, but it's still going to be under a field goal. I'm telling you.
Man, that's that. And the thing is, Hawkeye fans will defend it. But whatever. It is what it is, man. So where do I even go from there?
Kev's going to be laughing all night.
Here's another thing about this game. I'm going to go back to it. Kirk Ferentz has beaten Jim Harbaugh one time, and that was in Harbaugh's second season, 14-13 in Iowa. And we all know that Jim Harbaugh's first couple of years at Michigan, they weren't really going anywhere, right? They were just kind of muddling, and people were actually talking about him being fired. And then, obviously the last 3 seasons, he's really turned it around. The thing about Iowa, and this is Iowa, like Phil Parker doesn't change anything. We had Riley O'Toole on. He said they're doing the same things now they did 10 years ago. And I just think that the Iowa offense is going to find a way to do that. Now, whether or not Iowa scores a touchdown or not will be yet to be seen. But if they do, Matt, I will be happy for you, my friend.
Thank you. I can't wait.
I don't care if it's 42-10. I'm going to be like,
that's a cash.
That's
now
right.
I'm not gonna get my Iowa plus 22.5, but
nope. So with that, I'm trying to think.
Sean Garner's got a question here. Should we answer it?
Yeah.
This is up Matt's alley.
Okay.
Here we go, Matt.
Versus Rutgers. I'm gonna say yes. They've been off. They're gonna be well rested. They're going to be chomping at the bit to play. I think Rutgers has, they lost some dudes from last year. It's just point blank. Ron Harper Jr. and others. And
Caleb McConnell, Paul McCarthy.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting. Amore or
he's still there. Yep.
Yeah, he's still there. I mean, that guy's a beast.
Mawat Mag, I don't believe will be back yet.
Is he hurt?
Yeah, he tore his ACL, remember, last year?
That's right.
In February. He's still not 100%. They think he's like 90%. They just said whenever he's ready to tell him, he hasn't practiced even really full go yet. But I think he's nearing, which is a big deal for Illinois because, he's a good player. But they've got a kid named Noah Fernandez who transferred from UMass. So he's their lead guard, with Eric Simpson. He had a big game against St. Peter's Monday at St. Peter's, I know. But he's quick. He can hit threes. I think that's if somebody can lock him down, and Danger. And I believe we'll see Coleman back too Saturday. So
yeah, I would think so too. I mean, I know the Rack is a really tough place to play. Now the Jersey Mike's arena, but and we haven't fared that well in the past. I just looked to see if there was a spread. I don't see anything yet, but
there's not one up yet.
Yeah,
I think it's a good time. Early December.
It's probably the best time to play them. I mean, they're 5-1. I mean, they're going to be a decent team throughout. But do I expect them to be like they were last year? No. It'll be good if we get Coleman Hawkins back, give us a little more length, and Danger continue to do what he does inside, and let the pieces fall where they may.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said here when you just pull up some stats and some numbers. I think some things that are working in Illinois' favor is that Rutgers is only out rebounding their opponents by about 1 a game, and you're like, well, they're still out rebounding their opponents. Well, when you pull up their schedule, it makes you go, what? They have played virtually
nobody.
St. Peter's out rebounded them by 16 in one of the halves.
Yeah, they beat Princeton. They lost to Princeton, and they played Boston U, Bryant, Georgetown, Howard, and St. Peter's. And they have a 1 rebound margin. That is not the way to beat Illinois right now. Illinois is one of the best rebounding teams in college basketball. Now, granted, we're getting that differential against some bad teams too. But I think that Illinois, there's two things that travel in college basketball, and Matt knows this. Everybody says defense travels in football. Defense and rebounding travel in college basketball.
Absolutely.
Rebounding is going to be there. Now, Illinois has got a problem with the turnover bug again. I would really love it. Hopefully Moretti's back. I don't think so. I'm hearing rumors, maybe the Missouri game, hearing rumors he's practicing. So these coaches now keep everything so close to the vest, you don't really know. But I do think Illinois can win that game. I think they should win that game. I don't know, Hyatt is their leading scorer. Omarui's still there, but we can throw some guys at them. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
They are 314th in the NCAA in rebounding.
Yep. This is one Illinois has been getting beat up there, and when they go to the Jersey Mikes, and it's never been
had a lot of luck.
No.
So I think it's time, no doubt, and that sets up a nice, fun Jimmy V game against FAU, who's looking like a team again. So, because they lost to Bryan at home earlier in the year.
And Rutgers is a really good defense. So is Illinois. Rutgers is third in the country. Illinois is ninth in scoring.
And Sean Garner says Tennessee looks beatable. Yeah, they've only lost to really good teams. But the thing that I'm worried about them is it looks like that Dalton Connect dude hurt his ankle pretty bad against UNC.
Well, and UNC also had the benefit of shooting 48 free throws compared to Tennessee's 5. But whatever.
Yep.
But the Connect kid who had 37 points, he hurt his ankle at the end of the game. He couldn't finish it. He barely walk off the court. So that will be one to watch as it heads into next week for sure. So I don't know the next one you want to do. I don't know if we'll do one. We'll figure out if we'll do another Fade the Deuce, in the next week or so. But I know before Christmas we'll do like a bowl special one, right? We'll pick. Yeah. I'll pick 10 bowl games at random.
I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
and throw them at them, and they have to maybe just make up the spreads as we go. What?
No, they'll have the spreads.
They'll have the spreads by then. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that maybe in a couple weeks because I think the first bowl games begin
December 11th or something. It's normally way early, so
yeah, we might do a couple of those bowl ones before Christmas. So,
hey, quick little tidbit on Illinois Rutgers. Top 2 teams in the NCAA in effective field goal and field goal defense.
Wow.
Illinois is number 1 at 34%. Rutgers is number 2 at 34.6.
And that's where when you're dominating the glass, you have shots around the rim. That'll be very helpful.
Let's wait and see what that over-under is going to come out as. I would imagine in the mid 130s, but I don't know.
Which would be probably pretty high.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking this is like a 66 to 60 game.
Yeah. Yeah, and Illinois is 10th in rebounding margin. You said Rutgers is in the 300s?
It says defensive rebounding 314th.
Oh, and defensive rebounding?
Yeah.
Well, Illinois might kill them on the offensive glass. That's
And if you look at the schedules too, Valparaiso was today was giving Drake a game, and Drake's really good. And did you guys see that Oakland went in to beat Xavier?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, did not.
Oakland beat Xavier in the Centos Center.
Oh, wow.
Oakland's a good team, and they almost beat Ohio State that first game of the year too.
Hey, I about took them tonight.
Yeah. So anyway, and Illinois obviously played really good. Could have beat Marquette. So I think Illinois has definitely played the better schedule so far.
Illinois is number 1 in the nation in defensive rebounding and field goal percentage defense. That's something there.
Wow.
Yep. All righty. Well, that'll do it. We'll see you on Sunday for Keeping It Orange and Blue. You'll be seeing Matt here in the next couple of weeks for sure. We'll do another Fade the Deuce with bowl games and stuff. So I hope
college basketball season, newlywed, kid on the way. We'd love to have you on as much as you can, brother. You're always welcome on Sunday nights with us. So just let us know.
Okay, man. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, no doubt. All right.
You got a couple boneheads when it comes to basketball. I think we know football a little bit better, so we could use your insight.
Hey, yeah, I'd love to do some basketball stuff. We'll get in on it.
Yeah. You know what? I don't want to just be like, oh, now Matt's gone, guys. If Matt wants to do some hoops, fade the Duce during the basketball season, we'll do it.
Matt, I'll tell you one of the best things we did last year on keeping it orange and blue was we got Raphael Davis on the show.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it was like I'm a member of all the Illinois message boards, and it was funny. It's like all the message boards at this point in time, we were having really problems with Illinois stopping dribble drive last year for a period of time. I don't remember if, like, we were just allowing little guards to get where they wanted to go. Might have some of that problem this year. And you saw so many people on the boards. Brad Underwood, just go to a zone. Just go to a zone. And I said to Raphael Davis, okay, man, how hard is it to like go ahead and implement a zone? He's like, dude, it is impossible. Like,
absolutely not.
If you coach man-to-man defense, like, you might be able to throw a gimmick zone for a possession, but like you cannot, like, you can absolutely not do it. And I think you have some of that same perspective with being connected to the college game. 100%.
And it's like an out-of-body experience for players. Mid-season, you say, okay, we're going to play zone. It's chaos. They don't know where they need to be, when they need to be there. It just doesn't work. And like you said, yes, hey, out of bounds under, we're going to go zone here. Maybe for a possession or two to get up a long shot, maybe 3, but no, you can't do it for long periods of time.
Or maybe even just show the appearance of a zone and switch back mid possession. I've seen teams do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This isn't the John Beeline coach team or Shaka Smart coach team that throw all these different types of defenses at you.
No.
They do what they do, but they're doing it well so far defensively and
they've been great.
And Matt, I'm keeping that option open, and it's okay. You ever want to write a hoops article for me? Just let me know.
I'm gonna think on that. I mean, I would love to. I would try to figure out what I'd write about, but
I do know this. Everything Kev said, I know. Just got married, you're gonna have a baby soon, but I know there's nights that you're on the road in that hotel and all you're doing is just sitting there and watching games. I'm like, there's a night where he could write some material. I know you love it.
I do.
Yeah.
Maybe try to come up with a Big Ten preview before, like, really Big Ten starts in January.
Yeah, whatever, man. Tons of things to talk about for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Duke is getting housed by Arkansas right now. So.
A 4-3 Arkansas team.
I was going to take the money line. They were plus 160. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
It happens. All right. Swap me out.
Okay.
ILL.
I.